TWB Podcast Hotline.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Ring of Honor. You debuted as a part of the Age of the Fall last year at ROH's Man Up pay-per-view. One of our listeners, Jade, wants to know more about that angle. Who came up with it, what you thought about it when it was presented to you, and where do you see it going?
The angle was brought to my attention by Jimmy Jacobs, who had been my partner previously on the MTV show, and he lives in Michigan, so we worked a lot of the same indies and stuff like that. And I went down to Florida in May of last year to do a tryout match for Ring of Honor booker Gabe Sapolsky and Full Impact Pro, and things just got rolling from there. Initially, it was just supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, but it was just the Project 161 thing, which was going to result in the stable of myself, Jimmy Jacobs, and Necro Butcher and Lacey. And we needed a name, we needed a reason for existing, and so I wouldn't say I came up with the whole idea, but Jimmy and I had a lot of creative influence when it came to the name and the cause and the whole Age of the Fall sort of deal there. As far as where it's going, you know what? Like, I think it has a lot left to do, and I think you're going to see Age of the Fall in various forms in Ring of Honor, and I guess in other indie promotions around the country for at least a little while longer. I think we've got a lot to do still.
Well, the angle where Age of the Fall debuted at Man Up was deemed controversial by some. The whole thing, though, was just so well done. Maybe almost one of the most visually great angles ever, with Jay Briscoe hung above the ring and his blood falling onto Jimmy Jacobs' white clothes while Jimmy cut the promo. When you were standing in the ring while that angle was going down, did you realize at the time how great it was, or did it kind of hit you after you went to the back after the show was over?
When that whole idea was presented to me, the visual itself struck me as being very, very epic. So I had a feeling going in that it was going to kind of throw people for a loop.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this: could you have ever imagined or that you'd be blogging for a wrestling angle?
No, not really. I mean, I blogged for my own entertainment for a long time. I like to write. It was like an outlet for me during high school, so it kind of came naturally, I guess. All
right, yeah, I know a lot of people enjoy the blog, and there seem to be a lot of anonymous commenters on there and stuff going on. It's pretty entertaining. Yeah. One more listener question about Age of the Fall, though. Tim wants to know if you're excited about working with the newest Age of the Fall member, Mischief.
Yeah, I really am, actually. I got to know her. She used to work with Ian Rotten when I used to work there in IWA Mid-South, and I got to know her there, and you know what, she's awesome. Like, I'm really glad she's finally getting the attention she deserves for being one of the best women wrestlers in the world.
All right, well, let's talk about Ring of Honor Take No Prisoners now. That match against Nigel McGuinness really generated a lot of positive buzz for you. One of our listeners, Sideshow Raheem, says that he thinks it's right up there with HBK Ric Flair at WrestleMania for Match of the Year. So that's a pretty good compliment. But he wants to know what led to the decision by Ring of Honor to put you in, by Ring of Honor to put you in the main event that night.
I don't know. I guess sometimes you just got to take a chance on somebody. And I've been 3.5 years in the business. I've had the opportunity to be put in a lot of situations that a lot of guys don't get the chance to take a crack at, to take a swing at. And so I really feel fortunate enough to have been put in that situation in the main event on a pay-per-view and be able to kind of, steal the show, so to speak. So I guess, somebody saw something in me, so I just took the ball and kind of ran with it. I'm not inside the mind, so I don't really know what, Gabe was thinking or what anybody else was thinking, but I took it for what it was and tried to do my best.
Well, it definitely worked out. I mean, looking back on that match now, do you think that's the best match of your young career?
I don't know. I hate all my matches. They all feel good at the time, but after I go back and watch them, I pick them apart. But, it definitely, I think, garnered me the most attention of any match I've had thus far. And the crowd reaction kind of made that match, too. So, yeah, I guess probably one of the better matches I've had so far.
Well, between that match with Nigel and now being the two-time Ring of Honor tag champs with Jimmy Jacobs, you've kind of had a meteoric rise in Ring of Honor. At age 22, what's it like having so much success in wrestling so soon? Is it almost hard to wrap your head around it?
Yeah, it is. I'm not one of those guys that really stops and smells the roses. I'm like the grass is always greener, you know what I mean? On the other side, I'm always looking to do something more and work harder and push to the next level. So it's really hard for me to sit back and I mean, I definitely appreciate the amount of success I've had, and like I said, I've been really fortunate to be put in a lot of good positions, and I've had a few injuries, but they haven't come at any terrible time. So I feel pretty lucky that I've been able to get so far so fast, because it's not the rule, it's the exception, I would say.